Hello and welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking about our match meeting. Before the match meeting, when we decided to go with surrogacy, what the match meeting entailed, and then also my feelings of after that match meeting and our next steps. So let's go ahead and get started with how we decided that we were going to apply for a surrogate. This decision came from being with our fertility doctor, going through IVF, and me not being able to successfully carry a child. This was heartbreaking news for me, but I knew that our family was not done, that our family was going to grow, and it just wasn't in the way that I thought it was going to happen. When we submitted our paperwork, we were told it could take anywhere from 4 even to 6 months to be matched with a surrogate. So when we submitted that paperwork, we didn't think it was going to happen right away. And that was discouraging to me. I thought, well, we can submit our paperwork. If we meet a surrogate, we can always pull back if we decide it's not the right fit. But also just that time period seemed very daunting to me, that we were already waiting 3 years, already went through IVF, and it was not successful. And then to have to wait even longer to get matched, to even go to legal, and all these things. So I was discouraged, but I thought, you know what, this is right for us, and my husband, of course, as well. And so we went ahead and submitted that paperwork. The next day, I received an email from our coordinator, and she said, I think we have a match for you. The only thing that we knew about her was where she lives, that she has a beautiful family, and this was her second time being a surrogate. To us, we were like, no way. No way did they already find someone the day after. The reason why we couldn't move forward right away with her is because she hadn't finished. She just entered the system, and so she had not even finished her medical clearance. At Pinnacle Fertility and Surrogacy, they like to go ahead and finish the 90% of the medical screening before your match meeting to make sure that they can move forward within the process. So we got that email the day after we submitted our paperwork telling us we think we have a perfect match for you. And that's my wording, not theirs, but that we have someone that you might really match well with. And then we had to wait a couple of weeks for her medical screening to be done, 90% of it. And once that was all complete, we were able to schedule our match meeting. Due to the timing of this, we knew it was perfect. We knew that this was going to be a great match just because we had faith. We had faith that I was feeling discouraged, and immediately we were given news that they found a surrogate for us. Like that alone, let alone going through IVF, having our embryos and things like that, it all felt like it was meant to be. So again, we submitted our paperwork. The day after, my coordinator said they think they have someone that would be a good match for us, meaning our profiles matched. She needed to go through 90% of her medical clearance, so 2 weeks went by. And then on the 3rd week after submitting our application, we had our match meeting, which is nuts. That is so quick. Like our story, our experience is not normal. It can take years. It can take a really long time to be matched with someone. But we immediately found someone, or the company we went through found someone that was absolutely perfect. We met each other's profiles perfectly. We wanted the same things. And then match meeting. Match meeting was... Okay, first let's start with the day of. The day of, I was so nervous. All I could do was just keep myself occupied. All I did was I worked all day long. All day long. I think our meeting was at like 10 a.m. or something, but I worked. I was like, I got to keep it out of mind. And then match meeting. So I didn't know exactly what it was going to be like. I knew her advocate would be there, our coordinator would be there, and then she would be there, and then Andy and I, my husband and I, would be at the meeting. We did not know exactly how it was going to go. I was like, is there a list of questions we go through? Is it like 20 minutes? What is this exactly like? I honestly did not have any idea, and I also didn't ask just because I was like, what? This is happening? This is so crazy. So a little bit about our match meeting. We got a link to join it was a video call, and we were able to, everyone was on at the same time. We introduced ourselves a little bit. Our advocates really they weren't quiet, but they weren't the main focus. They probed some questions or presented some questions that could be that could interfere with the journey, of it being a yes to a match or a no, such as how many embryos do you want to transfer and things like that, which is already in our questionnaire, but just confirming it in person as well so that we could talk about that process. Any of those trickier questions or more controversial subjects within surrogacy were brought up during that meeting. But there was also plenty of time for us to connect. We told each other why we are coming to surrogacy. I told her, it was her and her husband both were on the call, which was absolutely amazing. It felt like she was very supported. But we honestly clicked right away. I was crying on the call, sharing my story, and she was just like, you know what, thank you so much for sharing, and just talking about us being family, and it was just so wonderful. I have a little clip from after our match meeting to show you that excitement and give you a little bit of insight of that day. Here it is. Hey everyone, so I just wanted to do a quick update here. We just had our match meeting and it went really well. I am so excited. Before the meeting, I was a bit nervous. Is she gonna like us? Are we gonna like her? How is this going to, is it gonna be led questions, or I had my list of questions, how were those gonna be answered? Kept myself busy before the meeting, and then we did a Zoom call for the match meeting. Her and her husband were on the meeting with us, along with my coordinator and her coordinator from Pinnacle Surrogacy, and it went so well. It was an hour long. They said that's one of the longer ones they've had, but it was just such a flow of conversation. Everything matched really, really well. Of course, everything matched on our profiles beforehand, before we met, but just personality-wise and things like that, everything matched really, really well. And I am so excited. After the walk, my husband had to go to a meeting, and I was so excited I had to go on a walk. I was like, I gotta go on a walk. I'm so excited right now. And I just kept replaying the conversation in my head, and I'm just so excited. Talked to my coordinator already, and she said, we talked through it and we would like to move forward. And our surrogate also said she would like to move forward 1,000%, which is amazing. So yeah, we're moving forward. Next steps is going ahead and wiring some more money to continue the process and to get the water sonogram done for our surrogate. Yeah, and Andy and I have our drug screening and blood tests done this Friday, so in a couple of days, so that we're all set on that end as well for when transfer comes. Quick update, just wanted to capture this excitement. Yeah, I'm so excited, my cheeks hurt. Yeah, so excited. After our match meeting, we immediately got a call from our coordinator, Ashley. She called us, both Andy and I's phones. We had unknown callers silenced, so it went to voicemail immediately. But I looked at my phone. Andy and I were talking, and okay, we got to get back to work. And then I saw the missed call, so I called back right away. And she was like, okay, what do you think? So from Pinnacle Surrogacy, Ashley called us right away just to get our thoughts and to see what we were thinking. And it was just a whirlwind of a high almost. Oh my gosh, this could be it. What? This is just crazy. And so she asked us what we thought about it. And then she also shared that that the surrogates coordinator was also talking with the surrogate to see how she was feeling about it, and the surrogate was like 100% yes, like yes, I want to work with them. And that just made us feel even more secure in our decision of like, yes, she wants to be part of our journey, we want her to be part of ours. We just had that gut feeling of like, this is right. So that is something too that was just like, oh my gosh, this is happening so fast. So it was right after we got that phone call to check in of how we were doing. And then from there, we started the journey. Honestly, we started getting she sent over a packet of information from Pinnacle Surrogacy to let us know what we needed to do and how to get started. And we started off from there. So after the match meeting, a couple of the things that we needed to do is we needed to set up our escrow account and put in money within that for our surrogate. Additionally, we did need to pay the agency a fee, so we did go ahead and pay that fee as well. So a lot of it was getting that money, some of the money down right away to get things rolling. And then what Andy and I had to do was FDA testing. So we needed to go get this done because we had collected our embryos prior, so now we needed to go ahead and get that done to make sure everything was okay with us to be in accordance with the law. Hello, we are on our way to get our FDA screenings done. This means blood work, urine sample, and a physical. So here we go. Woo! We are back home now from our FDA testing. That went quick. Quick urine sample, blood draw, and I had my physical done, and then after that we were able to talk to our surrogate's client care coordinator. She went through what the next the deposits we'll need to make, the costs that we will need to be paying, the clinic, not just the Pinnacle Surrogacy, but actual advanced fertility care, and what the next steps on her end are going to look like, and starting that communication. We are so lucky to be able to meet her. She was in the office, and so we were able to meet her. And yeah, it was a good appointment, quick. Now Andy just needs to go to his primary care or a urgent care to go ahead and get his physical done. So once that is done, we will be good to go to move on to the next steps, which is the psych evaluation for Andrew and I. So good things to come. We have an email with lots of information. So we're taking it step by step. All right, we just had our psych evaluation. So what happened is Andy and I were on a call with Peggy, and I believe she is a therapist, so it's specifically for surrogates and for intended parents. And we were able to talk with her. She wanted to get to know us, our story, why we're looking at surrogacy, as well as what led us to wanting to pick Pinnacle for surrogacy, and then our surrogate as well, and how we felt about our match meeting, what happened at the match meeting, any questions that weren't answered, all of those types of questions, just making sure like our background is good and that this is all in good intent to be able to move forward. And we actually got to see Alyssa at the end of the call. So she brought in Alyssa to then confirm and to talk through any of the questions we both had from our meeting, our match meeting, if we had anything left over that we wanted to discuss and things like that. After that FDA testing, the physical, the urine test, the blood samples, all of the things, what happened was that was sent off, and then it was waiting. We were honestly waiting at this point. We didn't have each other's contact information. That could not be given until after legal. And so what we were doing was just waiting. We were waiting for our test results to come back and for for our surrogate's medical clearance to be done so that we could move on to legal. So we were just waiting for that. The biggest thing was scheduling that flight for her to come to my doctor's office. So through this surrogacy experience, my IVF doctor was used to go ahead and be our surrogate's doctor who is doing the embryo transfer. So he wanted to do that water sonogram and meet her and evaluate her and do that physical in person to make sure that it was that her body is ready and that every standard was met to proceed with the surrogacy process. So that waiting period was long. I feel like it felt long. Maybe it was like a month, not even probably. It was probably like 2 weeks, and I was like, this is the longest time ever. But the thing is we were told like a glimmer of like, hey, you may be able to meet your surrogate at the water sonogram, the final medical screening. And I was like, what? Because she had to come here to see my doctor because she is out of state. And so I was like, what? She's going to be coming here. She's going to my doctor's office, and I might be able to see her. But the trick was her coordinator and my coordinator, her advocate, needed to both be at be present for us to meet each other, like for us to see one another. So that was so cool that they actually made a special trip that we could meet each other. So they came from California and they drove to Arizona, the coordinators, and they came and organized a meeting for us to meet our surrogate, and our surrogate flew in to Arizona. And so exciting that they were able to do that. And in my next video, I will go through that process with you, as we do have some footage, and it was an awesome day. It was so great to meet our surrogate. So next time, I'll see you, and you'll get to meet our surrogate. See you next time.